If you had the power to manifest success and fame and wealth in your life without God's approbation, without his hand in it, would you take it? Would you embrace that thing that would give you all those things? I have a strong reason to believe that such a power is present and is offered in the world, and that there is an ability to secure it and use it to one's own benefit. There are a lot of names for it. There are self-help books and the power of positive thinking. There is The Secret. There's the law of attraction. There's intentionality, the power of man, whatever you want to call it. But in the end, they all amount, when the rubber meets the road, to one thing: self-will. That's what they amount to. And I've read about lots of very successful people appealing to self-will vehicles and using it to apparently get what they want. They're all over the internet. You can get what you want if you follow these principles. I recently read where the famous football quarterback Tom Brady goes to his wife, or I think she's still his wife, Giselle, and she speaks intentionality into his life. She uses stones and smoke and oils, along with certain prayers to God knows what. I don't know what the prayers are. And apparently there is a power in that to manifest one's own will to the universe and perhaps obtain the thing that someone desires. People seem fascinated by this, very willing to participate, to learn the tricks of the trade. But again, I want to remind you that that path that someone would take, there's congregated forums that teach these things. The forum, PMA, intentionality, name it and claim it, devil worship, human sacrifice. All of these things are means by which humans have appealed to get their will done. And it all boils down to what someone really wants out of their life. I personally suggest that it's real and that it is the spirit or zeitgeist of this world, and that there are perhaps some powers that people can buy into. But this does not mean by any means that even if those things work, that they're necessarily good. Part of the reason they're not good is because I don't think the benefits from them last. I think that only something that can be determined as good has to have lasting power in a general sense. I know there's short-lived things that break that law. From a Christian point of view, the will of the individual is the last thing that a person wants to live by. I mean, it really is true. You don't want to do your own will. Christianity is all about seeking and doing the will of God, and over the will of the individual, no matter what it is, and to seek and accept and to do his will, all the while rejecting what our will is. We might be able to go so far as to suggest that no matter what we are offered, no matter how appealing or fortuitous something may seem to be or appear, if it's not the will of our Maker, someone who truly places their faith in God would never embrace it. Never, ever. And how can we tell if something is the will of our Maker? I suggest a few rules of thumb. Could be wrong. These aren't exhaustive, but whatever it is will produce light and not darkness in the spiritual sense. That whatever it is will be loving in the truest sense of the word. And that means, because love is a verb, that it would be selfless and sacrificial. And it's usually experienced and obtained through suffering. And if it's not of this world, meaning it's not materially driven, it also won't lend to the pride that comes with this world through all the different ostentatious representations of pride that we have. A man is working in a regular job and he has wife and kids and he feels like it's a loveless marriage and a dead-end job. A very attractive woman steps into his life and not only offers him an opportunity to cash into tremendous wealth, but offers him a relationship with her and her body as well. Those of the flesh might say, and those of the world might say, that's a one-time opportunity. Man, you should have taken it. But if the man is a true worshiper and seeker of the Father, he would refuse all of it on the simple basis that he knows his life is not about pursuing his will, but it's and his own desires, but it's about pursuing and obtaining and doing the will of God. Jesus absolutely nailed it on the head when he said to his Father, "Not my will, but thine be done." That is central to the life of someone who walks by faith. I just want to encourage you today with our short weekly message on the value of seeking the will of the Father, accepting the will of the Father, and doing his will over your own. Why? Because the rewards for such here and there are eternal. And they don't fade in my estimation. So many people are willing to do what they want so they can get out of life right now their desires. They would, as Esau did, sell their soul for a mess of pottage. And the wise woman, the wise man, will only build their house upon the rock, and knowing that when the rains fall, they will continue to stand. Have a great week. Love you guys.